Hey guys, what's up? It's me. I'm back with another video. It's gonna be on Pink Floyd this time around. Worst to best. Now, I think that Pink Floyd's probably the best classic rock band ever. I listen to them a lot. Probably one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite band. Really nice, really solid all the way through. However, hey, worst to best. So, let's start off here with an obvious one. If I'm not done. Oh, yep, here it is. Yeah, I'm becoming this complete trash. Like, I'm sorry. Half the songs on here, it definitely shows that it just isn't good. The only song I can give any, praise, actually two songs I can give any praise. Be Careful With That Oxygen. I think that's actually a really good song. Really nice melody. And then the Animal song, which is considered the worst Pink Floyd song. However, I'm a stickler for experimental songs, very out there songs, very weird songs, which I think actually succeeded at. However, nobody agreed with me on that, so gonna have to be with that for a while. I'm not gonna be ranking more either because I haven't heard it. Plus, it's a movie soundtrack, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Endless River, or something like that. I don't actually remember the name. Something like that. And God, is that record trash? It's more of a thing you should listen to, near the start. If you're gonna listen to Pink Floyd and you're just getting to all their albums, listen to this third. Yeah, I'd say this is a good third album. Or just don't listen to it at all. It's not really worth it at all. It has probably some of the worst lyrics because there aren't any until the final song. I don't know. It just feels really empty on how Pink Floyd really nailed their sound in previous albums. But now since pretty much all the original members are gone, all the brains of the operation, they're all gone. So yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Now we're gonna have. This is gonna be a hard one, honestly. I would probably say next in the F. Actually, up to D, we're gonna have your boy, Momentary Lapse in Reason. I hated this record. When I was listening to Pink Floyd, all their stuff, a while ago, I remember getting to Momentary Lapse in Reason and just despising the sound. This was the album that we lost Rogers in, and I think it definitely is very apparent. God damn it. You can really tell that all the creativity is just lost in this record. There's nothing enjoyable aside from some riffs, which I do say are pretty out there. But I don't know. I just don't see how people like this album. I've seen people that put it in S. I just don't see that personally. If you disagree with me, put it in the comments. I'd like to see your response. I don't know. It just lacked a lot of stuff for me. Now for the next album. Sussex. I think it's called Sussex Full of Secrets or something like that. This record was give me a very paranoid feeling, which is why I actually loved it when I first heard it, because it felt really isolated and really grand at the same time. It felt really out there as a Pink Floyd record. However, quickly soon I realized how much of a joke this record is. Half of it, I would say, boils down to noise and just random scattered paranoid thoughts, which might be good if you think about it in a narrative aspect, but I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan. It comes down to personal preference on this album for me. I just don't see how it's that good. The next record is a hard one, but I'll probably have to say the Division Bell. It was supposed to be the last work, and it definitely shows. Now, some of the tracks on here are actually really good. Like the opening track, was pretty good. There was also another song, I forgot the lyrics, but it was really epic near the start. You know, the grass was green. You know, that was a good song. Apart from that, you know, we didn't have Roger. You know, and I don't know, it just felt empty. It could have been so much better if we had the last kick from Roger, but we just didn't. And I don't see how this record can get that much further at all for me. However, I do believe that it does have some really amazing production, some pretty decent beats. Well, not beats sounds like such a loose term. Not beats, sorry, like melodies, like sound. You know, the music. This is probably the most musical album so far out of this list. But yeah. Next, we're gonna have probably Obscured by Clouds. I'll be honest. People would probably put this a little bit higher, but I don't see the appeal. It feels really nice. I love the guitar riffs on this thing. I love the really blendy feel of the keys. It feels really nice. The lyrics are pretty crisp. Everything's just pretty rounded and crisp. I think it just comes down to personal preference, to be honest. If we're going off objectivity, I'd probably put it like up here. Actually, I'll keep it right here. But I don't know. I don't see it being above like some of the runner-ups, which you could probably guess. Which next one I'm gonna put the debut. The debut is what was initially what the first thing I saw in Pink Floyd was. It wasn't like Another Brick in the Wall. It wasn't Dark Side of the Moon. I remember looking it up in 2010, maybe? I found Pink Floyd, I looked up their stuff, and this was the first thing that came up. And I remember really hating the sound. It's obviously grown on me since then. If I was like, what was I, like 5-year-old me? Put it down here. But since I am much better musically than I was back then, I don't know why I'm wearing these. There's no reason for me to wear these. Okay. So, I don't know. I just don't like it at all. I think that just the I don't think their sound was fully fleshed out yet. You can probably get what I mean if you listen to the album yourself. But yeah, last one in C tier, we got the Final Cut. And let me just arrange this a bit better. There we go. The Final Cut is the last record with Rogers, Roger Waters, that I remember. I think it's the last. Might have been. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the last. It's really isolated, in my opinion. It's more of a continuation of The Wall, however, much worse conceptually and on its own. It sounds like a solo album in a way. However, you can definitely hear the influences from the other band members at the time, which I cannot name. I'm sorry. It's like 2 in the morning. But yeah, honestly, that's probably the last okay album to bad album. Now we're gonna get on to the really good albums. So buckle your seatbelts for this. So yeah. Atom Heart Mother's B, not much of a shocker if you know me. I don't see how someone would say that Atom Heart Mother is anything but. However, I don't know. It kicks off with an amazing track. One of my favorite Pink Floyd songs. You know, Atom Heart Mother. Like a 24-minute song, something like that. It's just a bop all the way through. It's so good. The horns on this thing are just screeching and just pulling just the whole time. The guitar blends perfectly. The keys feel so smooth. My one problem with this album is that I don't feel like it's fleshed. It just feels just done. It's really hard to explain Pink Floyd albums without listening to them yourself. I know a lot of people who are diehard fans of Adam Heartmother, but I'm sorry, I just can't put it above any of these others. Speaking of any others, let's put metal. Echoes, favorite closer song to any album ever. Probably one of the best album covers I've ever seen. Really just beautiful sound the whole time. I don't think I need much explaining past that, to be honest. Next one's gonna be a really unpopular opinion. Dark Side of the Moon, A tier. In terms of Pink Floyd albums, I don't really like it. I'll be honest. Yes, it is the most popular by far. Yes, it does have the most influence. Yes, it is a great audio listen. By the way, with these, with headphones, it sounds so nice. But I don't know. I can't give it any more than an A. No, it just doesn't seem right to me. It's probably one of the best albums of all time, in my opinion. However, for Pink Floyd, I don't think you can really ground conception albums next to, or concept albums, sorry, next to just albums, because I feel like they have some different impact depending on who's listening to it, which is definitely apparent later on. And this is not really like a concept album at all. It just feels there. And I mean, it is good. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not trashing on it at all. There's nothing negative I have to say about it. It's so good though. Like, the track "Money," which is I would probably say my favorite Pink Floyd song. Boom, 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 boom. That bass line just stuck with me. It's so good. I love the intro. I love the unique uses of like different sounds. Time is a good one. It's a good intro. Very stuck with me. Eclipse Brain Damage. That's a really good ending track. Tracks, even though they're pretty much played together at all times. But still. Next is really hard for me, but I'm gonna have to put "Wish You Were Here" first in number 3. This was the record after Syd Barrett has been discarded because he lost his mind, and I think it definitely shows. However, I think it was done perfectly. It was done beautifully. This has probably my favorite non-jamming session sung by them. Well, one of my favorite songs. Welcome to the Machine, which is one of my favorite songs ever. It's very beautiful. Welcome to the Machine. It's, I don't know. Shine on You, Crazy Diamond, longest Pink Floyd song. Longest song that I've probably heard. Well, one of the at least. 25 minutes long, 9 parts. Like 2 lyrics. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The only gripe that I have with the album is I don't feel like it. I feel like it's more isolated in one section of Pink Floyd's discography. It should be ranked different, like with the others. Like The Wall, I think should be ranked different as well. However, I'll get to The Wall in a second. Now it comes down to the top 2: Animals and The Wall. Yep. The Wall's the second best. The Wall is a masterpiece. It's probably the best album of all time, in my opinion. Right alongside, OK Computer and such. That's how good I think it is. It's that good. It's the best concept record, flat out, bar none, the best. It has some of the best, drawings, some of the best conceptual art, some of the conceptual works. Amazing songs. Not a single song on here I hate, apart from maybe Stop, which doesn't really count. Another Brick in the Wall. That part 1 through 3. Some of the best songs ever. One of the most popular Pink Floyd songs, actually. Comfortably Numb. Amazing guitar lines. The Trial. One of the most epic, orchestral music I've ever heard. Rock operas. In the Flesh. Really good two-parter, basically. Goodbye Blue Sky. That's amazing. Just da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Just an up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Is what I get from that song. Other songs like Is There Anybody Out There, which is really isolating and an invigorating experience. On Thin Ice, which is basically the intro, even though, In the Flesh is the intro, but this is kind of the intro. I don't know, it makes more sense if you listen to it. But yeah, I'll go into an in-depth review of The Wall someday. But I think I should have one more for this. Just for this alone. You already know what it is. It's the pretentious pick, I'm sorry. It is the pretentious pick when it comes to Pink Floyd. Animals is beautiful. God, it's beautiful. It has no bad songs. The best opening song to a Pink Floyd album. It has one of the best enders. If metal over here wasn't a thing, I just can't give this album enough justice. And people will disagree. They will say one of these three should be the best. Or maybe these 5. Or maybe if you're really dumb, maybe these 6, put it up here, But, Animals, come on, dude. You got Pigs on a Wing, or On the Wing, or something like that. Just acoustic the whole way through. And then Dogs, a 17-minute jam. And it feels so bright and just bound. There's a reason why I think this has probably the best production and sound. Other albums like The Wall or Dark Side of the Moon, they feel tense the whole way through. I think Animals offers a relaxed experience, which is what I kind of look for in Pink Floyd, to be honest, because that's one of my favorite types of music, just soothing but really heavy. Animals does that perfectly, and it has the best social commentary I've probably seen in an album. If we're not talking, other albums that we'll get to someday soon, this is probably the best. I will say. Pigs, it's the whole album is, I think, probably a reference to Animal Farm. Correct me if I'm wrong. By George Orwell. Amazing book. Please read it. Different. All the animals representing different classes of society, different parts of society, different regions of society, and I do think it's amazing. That's what I love. I really love the song Sheep. Why am I singling out songs? I love all the songs on here. I think probably the best is Pigs, to be honest. It feels really just, haha, but it feels deep at the same time. It feels really weird to listen to it, because it feels hauntingly happy, haunt happy, haunt happy, haunt happy. That's what I get from the whole Animals experience. It doesn't stop. It won't stop. It goes the whole way through 44 minutes, or how long it is, I'm not even sure. There's no, like, end goal. There's nothing stopping this record. There's no tension, no building between. It's just a listenable album, and that's all I want from a Pink Floyd record. Plus, hey, it has the best lyrics from a Pink Floyd album, I'll just be honest with you. You can disagree, but the pretentious pick will always be Animals, and I'm completely fine with that. I love that album to death, and it's one of the only vinyl that I have, so that's that. I don't have it on me right now, but hey, whatever. And that album cover's freaking beautiful. So yeah, you will disagree. You will disagree. And if you disagree, please tell me why, if you end up seeing this. And yeah, see ya.